With Sevilla emerging champions of the Europa Cup for the third consecutive season running, the coast is now clear for Spanish dominance of another European football season where you have the champions emerging from the Europa Cup and UEFA Champions League, all from the same league, the Spanish La Liga. It is a weekend of cup finals in Europe, and there will be so much of football artistry on display in the FA Cup final in England. Also actions coming up in Italy, in Spain, and in Germany, and even France. Well, let's take a look at what we have to offer you today on Hotsports.
Trending on Hotsports this week, we'll bring you the previews of big cup finals this weekend. On our main issue, we'll shift our pendulum to Old Trafford as the FA Cup takes place in Wembley. Should Louis van Gaal be allowed to complete the remaining 12 months of his 3-year contract if he leads Manchester United to a successful FA Cup title against Crystal Palace? For more detailed information on Fresh Sports News, visit our website www.hotsports.tv.
Welcome to the main issue on Hotsports today. Our focus shifts to Old Trafford, talking about Manchester United, the FA Cup final between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And on the main issue today on Hotsports, we are asking if Coach Louis van Gaal can deliver the FA Cup today against Crystal Palace and then book a Europa Cup place. Of course, a Europa Cup place already booked with a 5th finish in the Premiership. But at least an FA Cup title at the end of the season is still a suiting compensation or consolation for Manchester United fans. So we ask on the program today, if Louis van Gaal delivers the FA Cup title today against Crystal Palace, should he be allowed to finish the remaining 12 months of his 3-year contract, and that takes him into next season? That is the issue we are addressing on Hotsports this Saturday. And to tackle the main issue on Hotsports today will be Chukwuka Izuegbuna and Cosmos Chukwuemeka.
This weekend, Manchester United will be taking on Crystal Palace in the final of the FA Cup, and most people expect that Manchester United will win that game. Already Manchester United have qualified for the Europa League, but there's been so much hue and cry about whether Louis van Gaal should be allowed to finish his the remaining 12 months on his contract if he wins the FA Cup. For me, I'm all about what's the hue and cry all about. For me, I think Louis van Gaal has done decently well for Manchester United. Yes, he has not exactly lit up the arena. He has not exactly brought the house down. But if you look at what he's gone through, what he's been able to achieve, you will agree with me that it's not been all gloom and doom for Manchester United this season. For instance, he's been able to blood future bright stars for Manchester United, even though he's had to tackle a lot of injuries in the side. For me, I think Manchester United are on the right path. They are on this on the course of greatness again with Louis van Gaal, and I think he's been able to build a system with which this team will play. And the more they play with this system, the better it will get. So making noise about Van Gaal out, he should be kicked out, I think it's too early. He should be allowed to run down the remaining 12 months of his contract.
After the 2014 FIFA World Cup that held in Brazil, I mean, a whole lot of people felt that, okay, there's a new Manchester United coach in Louis van Gaal, who actually did well at the World Cup. I mean, taking Netherlands to the semi-finals of the World Cup and eventually becoming the third best team in the world. And, you know, you want to think that Louis van Gaal will come into Manchester United and, you know, try as much as possible to make Manchester United great again after what they passed through with David Moyes. But then, it's almost 4 years right now. I mean, this is the 3rd year, and it's looking like it was a mistake. I mean, Manchester United play this kind of boring football that people did not like. I mean, throughout the whole season, they just managed to scratch through and be in the top 6 of the top 5 of the English Premier League log. And you want to say that this same coach should continue? I mean, this is the Manchester United side that before times will qualify for the Champions League every year, but then for the second time in like 3 to 4 years, they have not qualified for the Champions League. And you want this same coach to remain? This is a coach that good players came into the team. I'm talking about Angel Di Maria. I'm talking about players that know their worth. And what did this man do? He actually forced them out, play a kind of negative football that does not fit into the philosophy of the team. So I'm saying that just retire or probably go take up a national team job somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere in Asia or probably in the Middle East. And just make cool money, but leave everyday football, club football to coaches that understand the modern techniques of playing football and not the way you played football in 1995 or 1994. So as far as I'm concerned, Louis van Gaal should just go, and Manchester United should get a good coach who understands what it takes to win, like Alex Ferguson understood.